In one of his essays, the French literary theorist Roland Barthes, I think it was an essay called Death of the Author, but I might be wrong, he talks about writing being a multidimensional space, I think he says, in which a number of writings drawn from the innumerable centres of culture blend and clash. I don't think I got the quotation quite right, but it's something like that. And he's really talking about kind of post-structuralist, intertextual, endlessly deferred meanings and a tissue of quotations, that kind of thing. He's talking about language as being a kind of endlessly repurposed medium. But I think his use of the term multidimensional is very interesting there. Multidimensional. Because when I'm thinking about dimensions and language and meaning and knowledge, I'm not thinking of it in terms of multiple dimensions, or at least if I am, it's a very specific multiple. I'm thinking of it in terms of three-dimensionality. Certainly some of the writings that I'm identifying as being interesting to myself, and some of the writings that I'm doing myself, I feel as if I'm locating those within three-dimensional space. Some of those writings kind of have a claim to objectivity. Some scientific writing that I've been looking at, for example, and those are placed as objects very specifically out there in three-dimensional space, at a distance, at some remove, and various relationships to one another in that distance. Other writings are closer up. Some of the writings from the humanities, for example, are much closer up, and they feel much more kind of haptic and handleable. They feel like pieces of writing that are at play with each other, if you like, as if they're being played with, rolled across the hand. And other pieces of writing are very close up. They're subjective, and some of the things I've said in this video, indeed, some other pieces of writing have been about my family or about what I think about various things from a completely subjective taste point of view, if you like. So in terms of the two-dimensional horizontal space in which I occupy, in which knowledge occupies, that's that sense of it. I also think, as I think I've said earlier, there's a kind of vertical dimension to all this, in which sometimes I'm trying to aspire to an overview in a humanities or scientific sense, in which I try to gain a vantage point from which I can comment upon and map a lot of the things that I'm interested in. And other times that overview isn't a scientific or an empirical kind of overview. It's more of a spiritual, if you like, overview. More of a less empirical, more intersubjective, convergent, that kind of sense. So I guess what I'm saying here is that I'm recognizing in Barthes the idea of a multidimensional space in which writings blend and clash. I'm recognizing in that something of my own project, but I'm not seeing it as multidimensional. He's using a network model, it's very different to my thing. I'm not seeing it as multidimensional, I'm seeing it fairly rigidly as three-dimensional, and it's the three-dimensional space of embodied experience in which the space is arrayed around oneself, and it comes with all of the opportunities and affordances and inhibitions that real space provides to real bodies.